empires are losing their grasp on power. And as our age begins to dawn, they will learn to fear us.
So Eve's going to be 10 years old. I mean, May 6th, it sounds crazy, we're going into our second decade. It's a great feeling. And we've been growing every year. We're bigger now than we've ever been. And I think what we're finding is that I kind of liken Eve to this kind of grungy, angry teenager in his mum's basement who's kind of listening to thrash metal and is like constantly angry with the world. Yeah. And that was like Eve in its first 10 years. It was spiky, it had hard edges, and it was like, whereas now he's grown up, and he realizes he's got to get a job, and he still wants to be edgy, he still wants to be that kind of guy, but he's smoothing off some of the edges, and he's now becoming sort of a man, and he's kind of growing up.
It's a coming of age story.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's what's happening with Eve is, we've got to make it so that it's a game which is more accessible to people as they come in. And Dust 514 has been a really good learning experience for us with that, where this is a game which has to be accessible. So we've been seeing what the Dust guys have been doing and taking a load of those lessons and putting those into the game, because we never want Eve to be easy. We want it to be hardcore. We want it to be this experience, but it should be easy to get into. It should be off you saying, but easy to learn, hard to master. We really, really want that. So very much what we're doing is how do we make that happen while still giving compelling reasons for people to come and play this game. So Retribution was our most successful expansion to date. And I think there was a lot of really good stuff in there at the core of our game. We sort of went back and we did huge balancing changes across all of the ships so that people actually had reasons to go and do the key thing of our game, which is fly a spaceship. Right. But also we had bounty hunting, and it doesn't matter if you've never heard of Eve before. If you talk about bounty hunting, you have an image in your head, and you can relate to it. And so people came in on the promise of that, saying, okay, I can do bounty hunting. Yeah, you can do bounty hunting. And then they realize that there's all of these other things that they can do. So I think we need to continue to have good themed features which people will be able to relate to, whilst also continuing to iterate on the core part of the game. But as we go forwards, as we're looking at things like Odyssey and beyond, I mean, we've had 10 years of development. There is a lot to do in our game. And actually, this is probably one of the biggest problems with it is new player comes into the game and they ask the question, what do I do now? Well, you can do anything. It's like, come on, help me out here. Yeah. So one of the things that we're trying to answer that question when any of our players, be it a long-term veteran or a brand new player in, when they say, what do I do now? We want to make them aware of all the amazing things in the world, because often we hide them away, we make them difficult to get at. So Odyssey will really be about adding new exploration gameplay in. So there's this great sci-fi feeling of the sense of wonder. What's out there. It's you read any sci-fi, you watch any sci-fi movies. It's always there's this thing at the back of your head which is I don't know what's out there. So we want to get that feeling back in. Going to put a load of really good new, kind of for us, really groundbreaking exploration content, which the keynote will go into more. But there's going to be a lot of new things in for that, and also ways for you to realize that there's a huge amount in space. Right now you undock, you see this big blank canvas and you go, what's out there? We're going to be putting ways of really getting information to you so you know what you are able to do. Then you can decide whether or not you want to do it. And this is kind of that going from a spiky to a spiky teenager to a more mature grown up kind of guy is we want to stop giving people data. So Eve's often been called the spreadsheets in space kind of game. But so we want to stop giving people data. We want to give them information. We want that information to be just immediately applicable, relevant. So we've got to work on our UI. We've got to stop just putting zeros and ones in front of people and saying this means this. Yeah. Oh, there's some things like that. That's interesting. I'll go and do that. And I think that will make the game just much more approachable.
And I think that's what draws a lot of people to MMOs, both like originally and what's I think maybe sort of been missing is that sense of wonder and that sense of like anticipation of what's out there. And David Reed always has that speech about how like in the beginning it was supposed to be like, well, everyone's going to build up, and then when they feel safe, they'll go out and explore those those dark edges. But it was like day one, everyone just want to see push the boundaries. So is that sort of that same spirit of exploration? It's just
exactly, and it really when you see those opportunities, and that's what it is. I mean, we just give opportunities to our players, and they then just go off and take it, and they usually do things which we weren't expecting. But you know, they take those opportunities and they just go with it. And I think this is one of the challenges with a 10-year-old game is everybody knows everything in EVE now. If you want to know how to do something, you Google it, and it comes up, and you say, oh, I go here and I do that, and whatever. We need to change some of that up. We need to make it so it isn't just, you know, I know what to do every single time, and I just grind and I grind and I grind. I've been asked many times, you know, what's your biggest piece of advice to a new player coming in? And it's, for God's sake, do not try and play this game solo. The first thing you should do is go out and meet people. Go out and start making some connections, because A, they'll teach you the game a lot quicker. And it's a big, complex game. But that's why this game is important. That's why it's so enjoyable, is when you actually do it with other people. Because otherwise it's a spaceship game. Cool, very, very cool. But it's that sense of, I have no idea what this guy's going to do. Is he going to be a friend? Is he going to be an enemy? Is he going to, you know, help me? Is he going to hinder me? Yeah. And that, just dealing with other people, that's exciting, that's interesting.
The most respected gamer channel on the web is coming to your living room. Get ready to enjoy Machinima in a whole new way on your Xbox 360. Video game reviews, daily news, original programming, and videos from your favorite directors. Download the Machinima app on Xbox 360 today.